लाइव कर दूं मैं यहाँ पे?
हाँ, आप लाइव कर दीजिए।
ओके, स्टार्टिंग। Hey guys, a very good evening to all of you. Welcome to the first session on CMAT, Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Friends, from BYJU'S exam prep, we are going to come to you with a lot of videos, sessions, knowledge sessions you can call it, practice sessions you can call it, whatever you want for CMAT, MAHCT and all the other exams that are yet to come. We are going to come up with session plan. Okay. We're going to come up with a session plan for you. So please be in tune with us, with our channel. That is, stay tuned to our channel and click on the bell notification icon. Subscribe to our channel so that you get notification about all these free live sessions. Today we're going to talk about innovation and entrepreneurship, an entire section in your CMAT exam, and a very important part. So let's take a look at what is the agenda for today. So today I'm going to talk about understanding this section. It is a relatively new section, this is the third year that this section is being conducted. So the first time it was introduced, it was in the year 2022. Okay, so 2023 they had a similar section, and 2024 also you're expecting a similar section. So what happens here? How is it different from GK? What is the syllabus? And we are going to practice a few questions in today's session. So this is basically what we have for the session today. I have few chat ideas coming. Any idea of when will NMIMS give calls for GDPI? Vrinda, NMIMS should be coming out with calls in the next 10 days or so. Post Pongal, you can expect, you can start expecting calls from NMIMS also. But yeah, their interviews would usually be in the mid of February. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a look at what is the section all about. Now, it is a section testing the students' knowledge in the current scenario of entrepreneurship. Guys, remember, India is one of the growing hubs for entrepreneurs. We are having some of the great startups, startups which we don't see anywhere else in the world. For example, you don't have the Swiggies and Zomatos in many of the European countries, in Australia, even in US to a certain extent. So you are having these unique ideas in India and India only. And we are coming across so many startups on a day-to-day basis that it becomes imperative for any business aspirant to know about entrepreneurship as a whole. So they want to understand how much of basic knowledge do you have about entrepreneurship and innovation. So that is what they want to test in this particular section. It has, like every other section, 20 questions. Each question is plus 4 marks. There will be 4 options, MCQ type, and if you make a mistake, you'll be getting a negative mark, -1 negative mark. Okay. There are 3 types of questions. Awareness questions, basically simple questions with 4 options. It's whether you know the term, what is the definition, things like that. Then you have match the following type of questions, and then we have a reasoning assertion type of question. So these are the 3 types of questions. Once again, what are the 3 types? One is a basic MCQ, where you have a question and 4 options. For example, what is the meaning of this term? And there will be 4 options. The second type of questions is match the following. It's an interesting type of question which I will share with you in the example of questions. I'm going to have about 4 or 5 sessions lined up for you on innovation and entrepreneurship. So we are going to cover all the basics that are required for you to ace this particular exam. So don't worry, we will cover all the 3 types of questions. And the third type here is reason assertion type of question, which I have as examples today. By the way, guys, just so that you understand, this is the third year I'm taking this particular topic for you on YouTube. And I'm glad to say that over the last 2 years, out of the 20 questions, 16 questions and 17 questions. In the first year, we had 17 questions that we discussed in the class that came up in the exam directly. And last year, out of the 20, 16 questions have come in the exam directly. So we know what we're doing when we're training you on this particular subject. But let's go ahead and take a look at how is this section different from GK. Is it different from GK? First of all, the answer is both yes and no. How can it be both yes and no? Well, there is a reason for that. I will say it is not different from GK if you go from one idea. That is, it is a question, you have to have the knowledge, and there are 4 options for that knowledge. Which option is correct? You have to pick. Ultimately, it is general knowledge. Because what is general knowledge? General knowledge is a very, very vast area. It covers anything and everything, right? So if I ask you the meaning of this term, well, it is not necessarily entrepreneurship and innovation. It can be treated as general knowledge also. So effectively, you need to understand terms, meaning of terms, when is it used, what is the definition of these terms, things like that. So in that sense, yes, it is not different from GK. However, you can also argue that yes, it is different from GK because there are different types of questions, because there is a match the following type of question, there is a reason assertion type of question which GK doesn't have, and the nature of questions. Here, the nature of questions are a bit more technical. It is not general knowledge. You have to go a bit in depth into innovation and entrepreneurship to understand certain terms. You need to have certain concepts. See, GK is not about concepts. It's about facts, places, people, dates, duration, all of these things. But here it is about understanding the concept also. So yes, in a way you can say it is not different, in a way you can say it is different, right? Sahil is saying, I am from Mumbai. What's the best way to get into JBMS, CET or CMAT, or should I prepare for both? Well, Sahil, I'm not sure whether JBMS is there in CMAT anymore. Please make a check. Sorry, it was not there in MAHCT anymore, I guess. It is there in CMAT. So I think give your best shot at both. Why do you want to restrict your number of options? Give the best shot at both the exams. But anyway, let's move on. Now, what are the topics that I'm going to cover? I'm going to cover innovation management terminology. Obviously, this is very, very important because there are direct questions that have come the last year based on certain terms, certain definitions. Then we will be looking at something called as innovation adoption of life cycle. So we are going to understand what is the life cycle in innovation. Then we're going to look at something called as product life cycle, all these terms which are based on concepts. Then we are looking at the 3 innovation management ideas. Then we are looking at creativity and its stimulation. Then we are looking at creating entrepreneurial ventures. We are going to look at project management, and then we're going to look at entrepreneurship and government. So these are the various topics that we're going to cover as a part of this learning phase. So it's not just one session. Today we're going to cover only some part of it, but over a period of 4 to 5 classes, we're going to cover all of these terms. Clear? Vrinda, I don't think MAHCT, JBMS is taking MAHCT anymore. Please verify that. I remember distinctly that JBMS is not considering MAHCT. Again, I'm not really sure. Check it once. Okay. Now, firstly, in this innovation and entrepreneurship, first of all, what is innovation? Let's understand the meaning of this term innovation. According to Gartner, it's an IT research firm, information technology research and consultancy company. Innovation management is a business discipline that aims to drive a sustainable innovative process or culture within an organization. Oftentimes, this innovation management initiative utilizes a disruptive method of change to transform business. So basically, what are they saying? They've given a definition here. What is the definition of innovation or innovation management? It is a business discipline. It's a business discipline that aims to drive. Why do you use the word sustainable here? Because whatever change you're bringing, that change should be able to carry forward. It cannot be that I will do it for 3 days and the 4th day it is not viable. I can't do it because I don't have any more money. It cannot be like that, right? So you need to, whatever change you're bringing in your business, it should be sustainable, meaning you should be able to continue that forward without having a problem after going for a small length of time. For example, some people, I'll take a very, very simple hypothetical scenario. Studying every day for 10 hours or 15 hours. Is it really sustainable? You can do it for 3 days, 4 days, 10 days, 15 days. Can you do it for 1 year? Can you do it for 2 years? Every day 15 hours of study? Not possible. You can do it for a small duration of time. Yes, if you really have the willpower, you can probably do it for 1 year for IIT JEE. Some people do that. But can you do it for, you're talking about a business, and business is not for 1 year or 2 years. You're talking about the next decade. Every year, can you spend 15 hours studying for the next 5-6 years, as an example, just hypothetical scenario? No, right? So your plan to progress in life should be sustainable. So whatever your plan is, you should be able to carry forward for the remaining part of your life. That is what is called as a sustainable idea. So the process that you're going to bring should be, you should be able to take it forward without having to deal with problems going for, without having to deal with problems. Okay. Now, how do you do this? This change that you're going to bring in your organization. It could be through a new product, or through a technology, or a change in the process itself. There are multiple ways, not just these 3 ways. These are just 3 examples. You can change a process itself, you can bring a new product, and you can bring a new process. Whichever way, and other ways of doing these things also. So, a new business model maybe. Any of these things can bring a change in the organization for the better. Okay? Now, there are 3 innovation management ideas. That's what we're going to talk about here. When you're talking about innovation and change, there are 3 levels to this. The smallest level is called incremental. The next level, if you go a bit more than incremental, it is called as a breakthrough. And the most beautiful, which will really put you up there on the map, is called disruptive. Let's understand the meaning of these 3 phases. Okay. Now, what is incremental? By the way, I've got some charts here. Sahil says it access both CET and CMAT. Yes, Sahil, I was sure about that. I'm not sure about MAHCT. Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead. CET and MAHCT are not same, Vrinda. They're 2 different things. MAHCT is Maharashtra CET. Okay. Yeah, so where were we? Yes, we are talking about the meaning of these 3 terms: incremental, breakthrough, and disruptive. Let's quickly understand what are these 3. Just give me a moment, guys. Yes. Incremental. What is the meaning of incremental? Improving the current products, services, or process. So you are not changing the product, you're not changing the process, you're not changing the service. You are basically saying that whatever we have, we are trying to make it better. That's what is the meaning of name incremental, right? Slow change. So today you're able to study for 1.5 to 2 hours. Tomorrow you're increasing it by 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So that's the meaning. Incremental is small steps. Breakthrough is a new technology that pushes the product or service to a greater height. So the product is the same, the service is the same. You are using new technology to change this product and give it a new face. But still, the job it is doing is the same. It is still doing the same job. And finally, disruptive. Disruptive is basically those ideas that completely changes the market behavior. Right? It changes the market behavior. So market was behaving in a certain way. You bring in this idea, which is a disruptive idea, and the entire market changes. Let's take an example of what are these 3. Incremental is an example of Gillette blades. Gillette blades, it started with a single blade, then 2 blades, then 3 blades, 4 blades. I think there is 5, 6, 7. I don't know how many blades there are today. So every time they put a new blade, or extra blade, not a new blade, the same blade again. They'll put an extra blade, and they're called. So basically, what are they doing? The product is the same, it is doing the same thing, they're doing a small change. That is called incremental. Similarly, Coke. Coke existed, it had one flavor, you add another flavor, you add another flavor. Ultimately, it's the same sugar syrup, which is okay, may or may not be bad for you, right? So you have a Coke, okay? Similarly, new models of phone. You have a Samsung phone, you have an iPhone 14, 15. So many memes have come out about iPhone 14, 15. Well, they're going to bring out iPhone 16, which is going to be same as iPhone 15. I believe they'll over a period of time, if I put 4 phones in front of you, you'll not be able to identify what is what. Having said that, it's still a change. They will say that, okay, we have gone from 20 pixels to 25 pixels. We have gone from 2 camera lenses to 3 camera lenses. We have gone from 14 inches to 14.5 inches, whatever. Now, what is a breakthrough? A breakthrough is a product which is changed because of a technology. For example, Dyson brought a bagless vacuum cleaner. So I was shocked when I heard for the first time, because traditionally we are used to thinking that a vacuum cleaner is supposed to have that bag or a dabba where you have a tube which sucks the dust into it and it gets accumulated in that. For the first time, Dyson brought in new technology where you don't need to have that. You can just carry it wherever you want to go. It's a new technology in itself. So that is called as a breakthrough. For example, if you look at the process change, what is the process for using Office 365 earlier? You have to buy it for 1 year. You have to buy it once, and that is it's there with you. So you bought MS Office 2010. You bought it once, it's going to be there for you for your life, no problem. But if you want to go from 10 to 11 or 12 or 13, you have to buy again. Or if you want to go to 15, you have to buy again, right? So it's like a car. You buy a car, it's going to be there with you, and you want a new car, you want a new model, you'll get it. You have to buy it again. But they changed this process from one-time purchase to a subscription model. So what did they do here? Subscription model is basically saying that, look, you don't have to buy it once, you subscribe for 1 year. So if it is MS Office right now 2023, you will get 2023 for till the next year. And if we launch 2024, because you already have a subscription, you will automatically get 2024. You don't have to pay for 2024 again. However, the subscription is for 1 year. It's like your Netflix. You take a subscription for 1 month. You don't take it for a movie. Whatever movies come in that 1 month, you are free to watch. But 1 month over, you are going to subscribe again. So that's the model. So earlier it was of one model, they changed the model. The process has changed. That is called a breakthrough. But the job is still the same. Similarly, iPhone, when it launched, I'm not talking about changing of 8 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12 iPhones. Okay. It is some other chats. Okay, I think I've answered all these chats. Yeah. So iPhone, when iPhone was first time launched, when it was launched for the first time, that was a breakthrough, because we did not have a full screen smartphones. At that point, I don't know how many of you even remember this. It was way back when I was in college. BlackBerry was a phone. It was considered to be a really status symbol to have a BlackBerry in your hand at that point, right? It was half keypad and half, it was a small phone like the palm of my hand. Imagine this part being screen and this part being keypad. So that was how Nokia was also like that. Nokia was a big brand at that point. Then iPhone came and said, I don't want any more buttons. Give me the entire part as a screen. That was a breakthrough. But it was still a phone. Keep that in mind. Now what is disruptive? Disruptive is the smartphone itself is disruptive. When the first smartphone came, what is the first smartphone? So earlier you were only calling and then keeping back, nothing else. Now a smartphone, you are able to access internet through your smartphone. When that came in for the first time, that is a revolution that changed the entire industry behavior. Or think about the cryptocurrency, or think about let's say BYJU'S, our own company, or think about Netflix, or the best example, think about Zomato and Swiggy. The entire ecosystem changed because of them. Uber and Ola, the entire ecosystem changed because of them. The way in which the society behaves has changed. Such level changes are called disruptive changes. And these are the examples of disruptive changes. Okay, so till now, guys, is it clear what I am trying to explain? Can I have a quick round of responses from all of you? Everyone, quick round of responses. Can I see some responses, please? By the way, guys, if you really like this lecture and you want more such lectures, please give me a like on this video, because your likes are direct feedback for us. If you give us less likes, it means you don't like this, and we'll discontinue this type of a lecture and we'll give something else for you. If you want such type of lectures more and more, give us a like so that we understand that you like this and we should keep giving you more videos like this. Okay, well, let's move on. Now let's move on to, so this is a theory for today. I'm going to move on to the questions part. So every day we're going to take some theory. So today we saw 2-3 parts of theory, and now we are going to go into questions. In questions also, if there is anything to explain, I'll explain. So there is theory going to be in questions also. So first question for you guys, what is the answer to this? Let's go ahead and take a look at the question. So what is the answer? Thanks, Tanisha. Ayush, Vinda, thanks for responding. So what is the answer guys to this question? Which of the following is correct about equity? First of all, let's understand what is the meaning of equity. In a business term, equity is the amount of money that is put by the people who are starting the business. See, if I want to start a pani puri or a golgappa stall, I have to put some money to buy the ingredients. I have to buy the thela where I am going to put all of these, right? So that money I need to put in right into the business. The money that I put into the business is called as an equity. However, an equity can be calculated in many ways. So one way is equity is the ownership of assets that may have debts or other liabilities attached to them. Is it correct? Yes. Why? Let's take a look at it. If I have an equity, if I put in 100 rupees, what am I doing with that 100 rupees? I can buy an asset with it. I can buy a stand or a thela with it. It is an asset. So this money which is coming to me into the business as equity is getting converted into an asset, right? So it is the ownership of assets, correct? Right? It can also have debt. Okay, why is this moving forward? Or other liabilities. For example, if I am let's say taking a loan, if I am taking a loan, then this loan will basically give me money, right? And this money can be used to purchase other assets, correct? So effectively the liability can be used or will be used to purchase some kind of an asset or do some kind of a process. So equity is ownership of basically all of these assets, because who's going to own any of these assets that a loan is purchasing? The owners, which is basically nothing but equity. It is also the value of capital contributed by owners or stockholders. This is a direct definition which I already told about. It is the amount of money that is directly contributed by stockholders and owners. Now there is a third way in which it can be measured. It is also measured by subtracting liabilities from the value of assets. So this is also correct. For those of you who are from the accounting background, you will know that the total assets will be equal to the total liabilities. However, this liability is of two parts. One is equity and other liabilities. Correct? So, which means assets is equal to equity plus other liabilities. Now, other liabilities could be long-term debt, short-term debt, payables, this, that, everything. So, what is your equity then? According to the formula, equity will be equal to assets minus other liabilities. That is what is mentioned. Subtracting liabilities from the value of the assets, which is also correct, right? So this is the way in which you calculate your equity. There are three ways in which you can look at the equity. So C 1, 2, 3, all of them are correct. Next question. Please give me an answer to this. Again, these are all different questions where it's not related to what we discussed as a theory. Okay, so here we are going to take the theory within the question itself. So please go ahead and answer this. What is the answer, guys? Here, the answer is self-explanatory. If I say the answer is option D. Antitrust law. What is an antitrust law? The antitrust law is what is actually given here in the question, in the options. Antitrust laws are laws developed by governments to protect consumers from predatory business practices. What is a predatory business practice? For example, if I have predatory, so what is a predator? A predator is somebody who hunts its prey and then kills it and eat. Predatory business practice basically talks about a business practice where I will try to corner my customers and make sure that they have no other way and I squeeze them. How is it done? Let's take an example. Let us say there are 3 shops in a town, nothing else, only 3 shops. All of them are selling the same product. Each one makes their product and they sell it. They're selling it at 20 rupees and their cost is 15 rupees. They're making 5 rupees profit. Right? Great. Now, I come into the market and start selling things at 8 rupees. So, everybody will come to me only because they are selling it at 15 rupees, 16 rupees, 14 rupees. I'm selling it at 8 rupees. So, I'm selling it very, very cheap. So, what will the people do? They'll come to me. It's a small town, everybody will know this. Then, if I keep doing it for some time, what will happen? There will be no business for the 3. So they can't run their business, right? There's no customer going there. So they will shut the shop and wind up their business. Once they wind up the business, I am the only guy there. So what will I do? I will now jack up the prices to 25, saying that if you want, you come to me, I am the only guy coming. So this is one example of a predatory practice. Now you might always argue that, sir, when you go up to 25, somebody else will come at 15. It is possible, very much possible. But this is an example that I showed where it is possible that I can do a business or I have a business practice with a mal intention in my mind to squeeze the people later on. Such a practice is called as a predatory business practice. Sometimes it is not about customers. It is about my competition also. I can squeeze my competition also. That is also possible. Such a thing. Okay. So this is called as predatory business practices, and to stop that, the governments have laws called antitrust laws. Another reason for this is also to prevent monopoly. Same reason that I gave. If let us say that there are 3 people in the same example, there are 3 people who are selling a product. I come and say, all 3 of you, I'm going to buy your business. And I'll be the only person selling that anymore. So I become a monopoly. I'm buying all of them out. And I'm the sole supplier for that particular product. I'm the monopoly, so I can increase the price to whatever I want. So the government does not allow monopoly to happen. That also it stops. So that is also a reason why antitrust laws exist. Also, obviously, there will be differences in antitrust policies among countries because the definition of what is a monopoly itself can be different. How I treat with companies in my country may not be the same as how others treat with the companies in their country. So some countries will be very strict in these laws, some countries will be a bit lenient in their laws, and that is obvious. Every country will not have the same set of laws. So therefore 3 is also correct. And the difference in antitrust policies, this differences may arise because the way countries deal monopoly is different. The definition of monopolies in each country might be different, because of which there could be a difference coming in. Hence all 4 are correct. So the answer is option D. 1, 2, 3, 4. All of them are correct. Clear? Next, this is an interesting question. Let's take a look at what is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Anyone? Answers? Let me see. Okay, so the answer here is psychological needs. So let me give you the theory behind this term called Maslow's needs. Now this gentleman Maslow, I don't remember the full name, but this person was taught to us when I was in my MBA in a HR class. My good professor taught us about Maslow. The different issue that we were always sleepy in an HR class. But this gentleman came up with a brilliant theory to help businesses understand what drives a person to work, how a person responds in what kind of a situation. So he said, according to his theory, that there are five needs depending upon how at what phase of a person is in. For example, if a person is very insecure about his basic hunger, and you talk to him saying that you should do always good in life, he will say, to hell with you. I'm dying out of hunger, I don't have a house to live in, I don't have a nice set of clothes to wear. Who is going to talk about being good to the country, being good to the people next to you? I want to survive first. Survival needs. That is called as physiological needs. Physiological basically means survival. Roti, kapda, makan. You need food to survive, you need clothes to stay warm, or summer clothes or whatever. Basically clothes to cover yourself, and a roof on top of your head. If you have these three, then your mind will be slightly relaxed and you can think about the next level of things. Okay, so this is the first level. First level of needs are psychological needs. So a person, sorry, not psychological, physiological needs. Once the physiological needs are met, then you have the second level of needs. So what are the second level of needs? You have something. So once your roti, kapda, makan is taken care of, then the second is called safety. Second set of needs are called safety needs. So you have food, you have clothes, you have shelter. Great. What is the guarantee that nobody is going to come and take them away from you? So there should be safety for you. Once you are safe, you'll be a bit more relaxed. You can think about higher things now, next level of things. So the second set of things are called safety needs. Then you have the third level of things. The third level of things over here are called your love and belongingness. So what is love and belongingness? Love and belongingness talks about your requirement to be loved by somebody, and your requirement to be a part of a social group. Again, these are all human resource theories which are well researched, they are established, they are accepted. So a person who is having a loving family, who is having a nice group, a friend circle, a group that he belongs to, he's respected there, he will be a lot more confident. He'll be able to accomplish a lot more things because his mind is now at a higher level of freedom. So he doesn't have to worry about, oh, who's going to come and take away my food, who's going to come and take away my shelter, my safety, is anybody going to come and kill me? All these are not there in his head. And now he's also satisfied internally because there is a family that loves him, there are people who respect him in a group. All these are taken care of. So he or she, for that matter, is now in a position to do other things without having any baggage in mind. Then you have, so the third is called your love and belongingness. Love and belonging. Okay. Then the fourth one is called self-esteem or esteem needs. Now, what are the esteem needs? So once these 1, 2, 3 are taken care of, then you start thinking about a little bit about my reputation. Who will talk about reputation when you are hungry on the road? Nobody. But once you are taken care of these three, then you start talking, okay, I am a part of a group, I am respected, I have to maintain my respect. What is my reputation? People respect me for a particular reason. So now you are going into a higher level of needs called esteem needs. So you are talking about having a respect, maintaining that respect. So these are called as esteem needs. You'll slowly have a little bit of ego. All of these things will start coming in. And I'm not talking in the negative sense. I'm saying these are the needs that you need to have. And finally, what you have is called self-actualization. What is self-actualization needs? Once you have the 4 needs taken care of, now you will start talking about, okay, what is my professional purpose? Do I need to take care of about my career? What is my goal? So if you go to a higher level, you're going to talk about what is the purpose of my existence? What should I fulfill? You're now talking a little bit more at a level which a normal person who is still at 1, 2, 3 will not be able to understand. If you start talking about purpose of life, a person who's hungry on the road is going to, this guy is mad. My purpose of life is first to eat. I'm hungry. So you can't think about what should you do in your career when you're hungry. You're talking about survival first. So that is how these laws are, or these things are mapped. So basically, Maslow's hierarchy of needs say that first your physiological needs have to be met. Only then the second level of need is required. Safety. If safety is not met, then your mind is still not free. Once safety is met, the third level will be love and belongingness, and then you have esteem needs, and then you have self-actualization needs. So all of these are the needs that a person should be fulfilled, and then therefore, if it is not fulfilled, then there is a theory how they behave and so on and so forth. So let's not get into that. Okay. Next question. This is a good example of an assertion reason question. So here what happens is they will give you, in an assertion reason, they will give you 4 options here, A, B, C, D, and there will be 2 statements. One is an assertion, one is a reason. So assertion is a statement, reason is an explanation of the statement. So if the statement is true and the reason is a correct explanation of the true statement, why that true statement has happened, then you will be marking the option accordingly. If the first statement is true but the second statement is not true, then you will mark accordingly. If the first and second, both of them are true but there is no relation between them, then you will mark the option accordingly. So take a look at the options and take a look at the assertions and reasons and give me an answer. Let's see what the answer is. Any answers? Okay, let's take a look at it. Harsh sanctions have been imposed on Russia after its invasion of Ukraine. Now, if you have been following world politics, the Russia-Ukraine war, you know that there are a lot of sanctions on Russia. So, this assertion is true. It's a true statement. Second, if you look at the second statement, the ruble has crashed. What is ruble? Ruble is the currency of Russia, right? So the ruble has crashed and the Kremlin is scrambling to keep the country's economy running. Now this was also a true statement. However, is this the reason for the statement given above? No, it is not the reason. Remember, reason means because of the second statement, the first statement has happened. So remember, here what has happened is the second statement is an output of the first statement, not the other way around. So what they are asking for us is to check whether the second statement is the reason why the first statement happened. Clearly that is not. Second statement is the output of the first statement. The first statement happened and therefore the second statement happened, not the other way around. Therefore, this is also true, that is also true, but the reason is not a correct explanation for the assertion. Therefore, you will mark that accordingly. So both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. So the answer is option B. Clear? Next, which of the following is not likely to be a kind of barrier of entry to monopoly? So let me explain a little bit about what is the entry barrier meaning. Now, barrier of entry or entry barrier basically tells you it's something which exists that stops other people from entering into this industry. That is called as an entry barrier. It is not somebody that is stopping you. It is there because of the socio-economic political situation. For example, if I am talking about, let me put an example. How will I? Okay, let's talk about your telephone networks. Airtel is there, you have a Reliance today, Reliance Jio, you have 1 or 2 other players. Now, what stops a new player from coming up? One of the entry barriers is it's a huge investment cost. You and I can't enter it, right? If there is no entry barrier, anybody can get in. But you and I will not be able to get in because it requires hundreds and thousands of crores, not even hundreds, thousands of crores to set up the infrastructure required for you to be a service provider. So one of the entry barriers could be money. think about a pani puri tehla. Anybody can put it. There is no entry barrier, right? Anybody can put up. Anybody has about 4,000-5,000 bucks can start a pani puri stall. So what is the meaning of entry barrier? Something that stops others from coming in easily. I'm not saying it will stop you completely. It is not easy, right? So that is called as a entry barrier. So legal can be an entry barrier. For example, if the law says, if the legal system itself says that in this every district should have only one, let's say every village should have only one hospital. There's already a hospital, you can't start a second hospital if there is a rule, for example. So if there is a law which says that this only shit can happen, then you can't do anything about it, right? So legal can be a entry barrier. Technology can be an entry barrier. Technology can definitely be an entry barrier. If I am making a product that nobody else has, then nobody else can enter into my business. Why? Because my technology is not there with anybody. Let us imagine that I come up with teleportation tomorrow morning, and I am the sole patent owner for the technology of teleportation. What does it mean? It means I am the only one who can teleport people from this place to that place. Nobody else can do that. And nobody, even if they have the money, they don't have the technology to use it. So they can't enter the business. So technology can be a barrier, right? Brand loyalty can also be a barrier. How can brand loyalty be a barrier? Look at, let's take an example of today, your Swiggy or Zomato. Now these two brands have established themselves. I'm not talking about there is a loyalty for Swiggy or Zomato, but the brand recognition has become very, very strong. Now if a third player comes, the player can come, I'm not saying they cannot come, but they have to come with a lot of incentives for the customers. Because I'm used to Swiggy. And if somebody comes, they have to beat Swiggy's prices and go even lower than Swiggy for me to even consider them. Okay? The other way of looking at it, brand loyalty, is look at iPhones. Now people will spend lakhs of rupees on an iPhone 15 which practically does the same thing as iPhone 14. I keep doing iPhone bashing, don't mind, because I use Android. So whenever I get a chance I keep bashing iPhones. But anyway, so iPhone 15 does practically the same thing as iPhone 14, but people still spend a lot of money and they can't switch away from it. They can't switch away from it. Right? So my iPhone audience are going to be iPhone, and that is my loyalty to iPhone for whatever reason. So if somebody wants to eat into the iPhone share, it is very difficult because people who have been using iPhones will stick to iPhone, and that is the brand loyalty there. So these can be entry barriers. There is nothing called biological entry barrier. Therefore, answer option is C. Answer option is C. Okay, let's move on. Now, USP. Now, I can't define what is USP because the answer basically there is an option. Okay, this is A, B, C, and D, by the way. So A, B, C, D. So if I define what is USP, then you will know whether A, B, C, D is correct or not. So we will discuss it. First, give me an answer for those of you who know. Then I'll define what is USP. So what is USP, guys? USP is unique selling proposition. What is a unique selling proposition? It means what is it so special about your product? That is what is called as unique selling proposition. For example, when somebody comes with a new product, there has to be something new about it. Otherwise, why will anybody go to that product? So let us say that I'm selling a car and I'm selling a nice car. Everybody knows about me. I'm a well-established brand. Somebody comes and makes exactly the same car as me, same price with a new brand. Why will anybody go there? What is so new about them? Either his price should be cheaper, his quality should be better than me, his services should be better than me, his features should be better than me, something should be better than me. How is he going to differentiate himself from me? That basically is, in a nutshell, a unique selling proposition. So USP could help a product be priced higher than competition. Of course, if I am coming up with better quality, better features, I can place it higher. So this is possible, right? It is what makes your product different from your competitors. Of course, that is true. Why is this keeps going again and again? Okay. Next, the term USP was coined by television. Okay, this is a fact which you guys don't know. This is correct. So it is coined by a television advertising pioneer, Rosser Reeves, and of Ted Bates and Company. In the US, this term USP was brought in for the first time. Okay. Guys, just a moment. There's a small issue over here. I'm trying to correct that. All right. So coming back to this, the fourth one, the definition itself is wrong. It is a unique selling proposition, which means your option D is incorrect. So straight away, that is your answer. Okay. Let's move on. Which of the following usually do not invest in startups? It's a question. I'm going to explain to you what are each one of these, and there itself you'll get your answer. It's a theory for you to learn, and as well as a question for you to answer. Angel investors. Who are these angel investors? Angel investors are those people. Angel investors are those people who invest money as angels for a startup. It's a person who's doing something good to a startup. Okay, so these people typically invest money in the very starting phase of a company. Then you have venture capitals. So typically what happens, I am a company, I take angel investor money. Angel investor is an individual or 2 or 3 people coming together to give me money. So I will start my business with these 2-3 people's money. They are called angel investors. My business has grown a little bit more, but I still need more capital. My business has grown, but my needs have also grown for the business. So I need more money to be invested in the company. Now, angel investors will not have the capacity because they are 1 or 2 individual people. So now I need more amount of money. So where will I go? The next step for me is to go to a person or an entity called venture capital. These guys usually don't come at a very early stage. They come at a slightly later stage. So the company has been established. It has been running for 7-8 months. Some progress is there. Some product is there. That phase, the venture capital funds come in. Venture is basically it's basically a project that has been taken up. A venture. I'm getting into venture means I'm getting into a project. Venture capital, so money for a venture. So venture capital funds basically come in at the second stage typically. Now that money will be sufficient for me to go for the next 1 or 2 years. But now let's say I've been running this business for 3 to 4 years. And I need a lot more money to grow from. So when I'm an angel investor, I'm just using an example. When I was using an angel investor money, I just started in my small town. Then using the venture capital, I expanded to more towns and 1 or 2 cities. Now I want to go pan-India. If you want to go pan-India, I need huge amount of capital. That amount of capital even a venture capital cannot give in. So that is where I go for private equity funds. Private equity again are those funds which come and help people. So basically, what are private equity funds? They are funds that are organizations that manage money of very rich people. They take money from them and they invest in these kind of businesses that they see value in, and they usually put money in those businesses which have already established themselves with the proof that it is going to be a successful venture. They've already been running it for 1 or 2 years and now they want to go big. That is where your private equity comes in. So these 3 do invest in typically startups. Hedge funds don't invest in startups. What are hedge funds? Hedge funds are those funds which are managed by professional finance professionals. Their job is to make money typically by looking at the arbitrage opportunities in the world. Now, what are these arbitrage opportunities that you're talking about? It could be anything. If this fund sees that, okay, in India, in Hyderabad, the real estate prices are low and they expect the real estate prices to go up in the next 3 years, they can invest money in the land. It doesn't have to be land alone. If they see that the oil prices for some reason are going to go up in the next 2-3 months, then they can purchase a lot of oil futures and then make a ton of money from there. So they can dabble in anything without any restriction. But they go for huge things like this. They don't come for individual companies. So that is your answer, hedge funds. Okay? Clear? Right. The next thing is, which of the following is not one of the 4 stages of the innovation life cycle? So now we're going to learn something called as the innovation life cycle. What is this innovation life cycle? Innovation life cycle is for a process to be innovated and sustainable in a company, it goes through a cycle. What is this cycle all about? So that is what we're going to learn over here. The answer is option A. Obviously, I'm explaining the theory, so I have to tell you the answer. So there are 4 stages to this innovation life cycle. The first stage is called ideation. The second stage is called project selection. The third stage is called product development. And the fourth stage is called commercialization. So what does it mean? See, imagine that you are in a company, a big company, and you're trying to bring a change. First of all, you have to come up with ideas of how this change can come in. Different ideas. Each one will be a different idea. The first stage is ideation. You have to create ideas. Second stage is you have to select the project. Which idea am I going to select? Each one will have its pros and cons. Each one will have its advantages and disadvantages. Based on that, you have to decide which process should I select to bring about this change in my organization. Okay. Then the third is going to be development of the product. I decided what to do. I decided which one to select. Once I select this, the next part should be how will I develop a product or a process to fit this idea. So once I selected which idea, I have to now start developing the product. That is the fourth stage, product development. Third stage. And the fourth stage is, fine, I have brought about a change, I've developed an idea, I've developed a product. The fourth stage is commercialization. Now commercialization will have 2 meanings. One is if we are talking about a change within the company, within the working of a company, then the commercialization here basically means implementing and bringing that actual change that you want. More efficiency, cost cutting or whatever. If it is a new product for the company, then I'm talking about selling of this product. I've developed the product, I've done R&D, I've done everything. Now I have to have the sales and marketing and distribution channels and everything to make sure that the product is sold, which is basically getting money from the product. That is called your fourth stage, which is commercialization, right? So the first answer, investment, is wrong. The first option, investment, is incorrect. The first stage of innovation life cycle is ideation, creation of ideas, coming up with ideas. Clear? This is an interesting question. Take a look at this and I'll explain the funda behind this. It's a very interesting question. Okay? What is the answer, guys? What is the best course of action? The answer here, the perfect answer here is option C. Now let me explain the meaning of sunk cost. Sunk cost basically talks about a cost which is already gone. You cannot recover that cost. Whatever you do, that cost is gone. You can't recover that cost. Therefore, the further decision that you make should not be based on the cost that has already been put in, the cost that has already been sunk in. So this process or this theory is called as sunk cost theory. An example is the typical example here. So if I purchase tickets to a movie and the movie, high expectation, right? You wanted a movie of, let's say, Shah Rukh Khan, which is coming up, and you pre-booked the tickets on the first day, first show, very excited. Tickets are costly, great. Then you realized the premiere show had a very bad review, in fact so horrible, one of the worst movies of Shah Rukh Khan. Should you go and see the movie and get a headache? Now the way to think is, look, I can't cancel the ticket, I can't get a refund for the ticket. So then what should I do now? If I go, I'll be wasting my 2.5 hours of movie. On top of that, I'll be wasting popcorn. I have to spend money on popcorn. I have to spend money on parking. I have to spend money on petrol going there. What is the alternative? Anyway, whether I go or I don't go, my money is gone. If I go, I'll have extra expenses and a headache at the end of the movie. So what is the logical thing to do? Because doing or not doing, the cost is the same, I will decide without worrying about the cost. I will now look at going forward from this point. If I go to the movie, I'll have to spend money there, I'll get a headache. If I don't go to the movie, I can happily sleep at home. So I will dump the movie and relax. This kind of thinking is basically utilizing the sunk cost theory. Clear? Next question, what is grey market? Now, grey market, the idea for a grey market basically is, in fact, that's a question, right? So let's see how many of you can give the question. Right, so any answers? The correct answer is option D. So what is a grey market? Now, black market is illegal market. Remember, black market is illegal market. Illegal means you are not supposed to do that. Grey market is not illegal, not exactly legal also. So I'll explain what it means. So I am selling a car from one person to another person without the knowledge of the original equipment manufacturer, who is a car manufacturer. I'm a dealer not authorized by the car manufacturer. Somehow I'm getting cars and I'm selling it to people. I'm collecting the tax. I'm a company registered, but I'm not the dealer for this company officially. Such a thing is called as a grey market. It is in between illegal and legal. That is called as a grey market. Okay, I think last question, I believe. Yes, this is the last question. This is a fact-based question. Let's see what the answer is. What is the correct order of countries in the decreasing order that are home to unicorns? Guys, the correct answer here is option B. It is US, which is the highest, followed by China, then India, and then UK. So the top 4 countries with respect to unicorns. Unicorns is the companies that are valued at 1 billion or more. The highest are in US, followed by China, followed by India, followed by United Kingdom. Right? So friends, that brings us to the end of the first session today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you really enjoyed it, please give me a like, leave your comments, and share this with your friends so that they can also take benefit of this. Subscribe to our channel and be tuned into our channel, because we're going to come back to you with a lot of such sessions. We are going to cover the entire syllabus for your MHCT, your CET, CMAT, everything here. So please be with us and make use of these free sessions that we're giving you. Thank you, my friends, and all the very best for your exams.